So again, I heard some really good conversation, and I want you to share really quick, what were your thoughts? What did you do differently? How did you figure out, we talked about how we figured out the mistake, but what did you do differently on your table? What did you start with? I want to start with Holly because you had a strategy similar to a couple other people. Would you share what you did?
First, I looked at the equation, and then I put in what was for the S and the M in the graph to further understand the situation.
Okay, so you use the equation. You use the equation and then you input the values from the table. Okay.
When you were substituting for S, which was 0, and you plugged it in, you would get 3m plus 0 equals 18. And then you would solve for n, which would give you the answer to the top problem.
Okay.
You would just plug in and get the answer to those, which would give you your coordinate pair. I know ours was correct because when you get your coordinate pair, you could plug it back into the equation, and if you get 18 as your final answer, you have that problem correct as the coordinate pair. So you could just go in and plug in for each one of them. We found that on the error graph, it passed through X 2 times instead of once. Also, there was a dot all the way over here, and it's not connected with the line.
Here are a couple questions I want you to think about. I want you to think about, and take a few seconds, 3 different ways of representing our functions. How were they alike? How were they different? I want you to take 30 seconds. How were the 3 ways of representing those functions? We had equation, we completed a table, and then we graphed them on the graph. How were they alike? The same independent, same dependent, but different variables. Okay. Same independent, But let me ask this, how do we find the input-output pairs from a graph of a function? How do we find the input and output pairs from a graph of the function?
Oh, the X and Y.
Yeah, what does the X represent?
The input.
The input, what does that Y represent?
Output.
Output, good. So for every input, there's exactly one output. And what is something you won't see on the graph of the function? One input with 2 different outputs. Good job. Kiss your brain.